In this video, we're going to talk about how you spend your day as a founder. Welcome back. My name is Chavez, and I help Shopify founders to break $1 million a year so that they can work to live with their Shopify store. This is all I talk about, and today we're going to be talking about why it's so important that you, as a founder of a Shopify store, really think about how you plan your day. Not just focusing on your goals, but actually thinking about what is it that I want to get done today? What is it that's going to move the business forward? And when you are a founder of a Shopify store, there are a million things that are going to come your way that you could do, that you could focus on, and being able to distinguish between the things that you must do versus the things that you could do is the difference, in my experience, of what makes a brand successful and then why some other brands stall out. A lot of the times it's because we end up overthinking, what if I don't get this? What if I don't respond to this customer service ticket, right? That in itself is an issue. And also, what if I don't check my ads account every morning before I start my day? Like, that could also be an issue. What if I don't reply to these 10 comments? That can also be an issue. And I think this is what keeps a lot of business owners stuck and keeps people from being able to scale on Shopify. It's not because of product market fit or the economics not being right, but it's because we get trapped in these things that I feel like I need to do. But if you actually do everything that you feel like you need to do in your Shopify store, there just isn't enough time in the day. When in reality, if you sat back and thought about it and thought, okay, that's an issue that the comments aren't being replied to, and that's an issue that the ads account isn't being looked at in the morning. As a founder, it's good to have that anxiety and realize, yes, I do need to focus on that. But instead of you hopping in and solving that, you thinking, well, this could actually be a junior growth marketing person that handles the comments, customer support tickets, and the ads while we're getting started with the business, then your job is to spend time today hiring or finding that person. Spend time tomorrow hiring that or vetting that person and vetting maybe 10 of those people, asking in your network, finding that hire, and then hiring that person and training that person. That is the absolute best use of your time as a Shopify store owner, and your ability to do that and your ability to think that way and think like the operator who is going to find problems and then plug in people to create opportunities for them to solve those problems on a continual basis, with your help in the beginning to get them going and to be able to clarify their roles and their boundaries. That's your job as the Shopify store owner. And if you truly want to grow a Shopify store past $1 million a year, you have to be thinking this way. And take time today to really think about how you approach problems in your business. And that's what this whole video is about. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you guys on the other side. If there's ever anything I can do to help you, I think the most helpful thing is that me and you would work one-on-one together. So if you have a Shopify store that is doing over 5K per month in revenue and you want to work for free with me for 5 days, and at the time of recording this, it's free, so get that while you can. Eventually, we will be charging for those around $1,000 a week to do a one-on-one session, but right now, those are free. So you can go ahead and hit the link below to apply to join the challenge. Me and you will hop on a 15-minute call to see if you're a good fit, and in that 1 week, I'll help you get clear and build out a plan so that you can actually scale profitably and work to live instead of having your store run you. So good luck today in whatever you're doing. In this video, I'm gonna go through a bunch of things of just how to think about being a Shopify store founder, and hopefully it's helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. All right, peace. In this video, we're going to talk about how rebuilding your week will help you to drive your business forward. Masterclass, this is a way for, as a Shopify store owner, for you to actually have freedom in your business. It's by controlling your week. So stop letting your business run you and get clarity and profit and ultimately freedom without adding more hours or stress. And this is the order that it needs to happen. You can't have profit without clarity, and you can't have freedom without profit. So in order for you to be able to run your Shopify store and step back and truly operate from your zone of genius, these things need to happen, and that's why I made this training. Here's the real problem. Most people think that it's actually like something in the market, or if you just ran this type of ad, it would work. But really, you're focused on the wrong things. You're doing the wrong tasks at the wrong time, and for the wrong reasons. Like a lot of times we're focused on the wrong numbers, focusing on top line revenue instead of gross margin or contribution margin or net profit. Also context switching. So without having clarity, you end up focusing on whatever feels like the best thing for the moment. And that's usually based on what is going worse in the business. So if your conversion rate is down, everything looks like a CRO problem and CRO opportunity. And reacting to fires instead of building your business. This is the classic E-Myth situation. If you've ever read the E-Myth, they talk about how the lady in the book has a pie shop and she is doing everything. She's the technician, she's the manager, and she's the entrepreneur. And that's really what happens with context switching is you're trying to do everything and you end up burning out mentally. And your calendar is becoming some sort of a cage or a container where you're busy, but nothing feels like it's compounding. And that's where you have those days at the end of the day where you're standing in the shower and you're like, what did I get done today? It's because of context switching. And these all build on each other in a negative way. It's working on the wrong things, having context switching all day, and ultimately turning your calendar into a cage. Now, here's the shift that can happen when you actually start focusing on what your business needs. One, you want to focus on focusing on growing subscription revenue, protecting your profit, and reducing effort. And the reason you do this is so that you can make sure that anything that doesn't serve this gets cut or contained into its own thing. So if your business, if it's not focused on growing either returning customer revenue or subscription revenue, protecting your profit, which if you think of acquisition, it's this. So this is more on existing customers. How do we maximize the gross profit of those people? And then protecting profit is more on the acquisition side. And then reducing effort is saying, of all the things I'm doing, could I be doing them easier, either with AI, hiring somebody to help, training someone who's already existing on the team to help with it as well, or just cutting it all together. And I'm going to give you kind of like this 3-day growth arc and what can happen when you actually start applying this in your business. So instead of thinking in to-do lists, which I know a lot of us are fans of, I want you to think of these arcs that have purpose. Number 1 is going to be vision and decisions. And this is going to be one morning, review the metrics, decide what matters, and get ahead instead of reacting. I typically like doing this on Mondays. I know Monday meetings have a bad rap, but it's a really nice way to bookend the day and say, here is where we ended up, and this is how we are actually doing in the business. Now, number 2 is going to be revenue activities. So this is going to be 2 days, 2 focus days, creating offers, ad flows, and things that actually compound money. So think of this as like overall in the business, think of this as acquisition, and think of this here as retention. And focusing on operational noise, fulfillment, vendors, meetings, all of that. So, and you look at the week, you have one morning here, 2 days here, and 1 day here throughout your week. So kind of these containers of days versus other strategies where you're just kind of chasing fire after fire. So you actually have white space for growth work or actual life if you have one of those. So Arc 1, vision and decisions. On this one, we're going to be reviewing subscription metrics or returning customer metrics. I also think I'm frozen here, so let's see what happened. I don't know what went on there, but it looks like I was frozen in time. So another one is checking contribution margin and making sure that we're good to go there. Analyzing your retention patterns and looking at your actual true profit. Decide on what actually matters here in the business instead of just focusing on what's loudest and what's the most urgent thing right now. Next up, you're going to have So this one's basically to get ahead of the next 7 days. You're doing this one morning. I recommend Mondays. Our Tuesdays going to be revenue activities. It's going to be 2 focus days on offers, email flows, landing pages, subscription improvements, all those things that drive predictable revenue, usually with existing customers. And that's going to be 2 days a week. No distractions, no slack. Let everybody know, hey, I'm locked in on this part of the business. From there, the subscription day, first day, this is your most important day of the week. You're going to look at and review MRR. That's monthly recurring revenue. That's new subs, churns, add-ons, lifetime value. A lot of this happens in Recharge. If you have any questions or want me to make videos specifically about Recharge, happy to do it. I can drop it, or just let me know in the comments below. Next, we're going to be auditing the experience. So post-purchase flow, welcome flow, upsells. This is all going to take place in Klaviyo or Shopify. And then fixing one thing. Just focus on one thing every week, and the improvements will compound fast. As you know, I don't have to tell you this, but if you're going on the path to breaking 1 million subscriptions, do create predictable profit. Not just predictable revenue, but predictable profit, and predictable profit creates freedom, and freedom allows you to focus more. So this is what the Founder Freedom Reset will look like. It's a 15-minute ritual at the end of every week. 3 questions. What created money? What drained energy? And what needs to be removed or delegated? I would take 15 minutes with your coffee on Fridays in the mornings to kind of start thinking about the next week. And this is where you go from being super reactive, which I've been there too, and I know how that feels. And I'm not saying you won't ever be reactive in the business. That is the nature of running an e-commerce business a lot of times, is there's things that you have to react to. Then we have pruning the business instead of letting it grow wild. When you have this cleaner business, it's going to be easier growth, more profit, more freedom. And you just need to focus on what created money, what drained energy, what needs to be removed or delegated. It's a great way when things are going crazy to just step back and go, okay, what's making me money, what's draining energy, what needs to be removed, instead of getting tunnel vision on what's going wrong. So this is what the rebuilt week would look like as a Shopify store owner. You would have a vision morning, basically one morning for your decisions. Revenue days are like 2 days dedicated to growth. I'd recommend Tuesday and Thursday. Operations day could be a Wednesday day. Subscription first is kind of like your anchor day. Freedom reset is going to be your 15-minute ritual. That's going to be Friday mornings. And then white space is going to be the other areas around that typically for me, like I'm about to head out after making this video to be with my kids for basketball. Like that is a time where I'm going to head out at 4 on Mondays to be with them. So for you, that may look different. But that's how you go from being calm to from chaos to calm. I wrote this backwards here. And this is what I talk through. I do a free profit lift call where if you want to get coached one-on-one with me, I work for free with you for 5 days. If you have a store doing over 5K a month, we do a free profit lift call where we'll hop on a call, see if you're a good fit to join that challenge. And if you are interested in that, go ahead and hit the link below or go to doublemyecommerce.com/challenge. Once again, that's doublemyecommerce.com/challenge to apply, and you'll basically book a 15-minute call with me. We'll talk, and either way, even if you're not a good fit for the challenge, based on a couple questions that I have, I'll still help you out, even if you're not doing 5K. But ideally, you're doing 5K a month in revenue, because those are the people that I can help the most. I look forward to seeing you. Make sure to double or nothing. Peace.